feel like I need to take up for the president here.
Yes. Do it, Scott.
Because he won millions upon millions of votes.
Yes, he did.
To earn the Democratic nomination. And I just find it delicious that the Party of Democracy is now organizing a coup against the sitting president of the United States.
It's very telling that that is the talking point, though, from Republicans.
Yeah,
they are sticking up for the, the democratic process,
of course,
the right of voters to. But they want Joe Biden in this race. The Trump campaign wants Joe Biden in this race.
Yeah, despite what every time Karen and I are on TV, she says, "Well, I heard this was giving 5 points for Joe, but if everything you said was true, he'd be ahead 100-0. I mean, why is Donald Trump winning? Because Joe Biden has a terrible, terrible approval rating, A. So the results of the presidency are already, people lost confidence in that. And B, now everybody knows he's not even capable of being president today, let alone for 4 more years. No Project 2025 malarkey is going to change any of that. The contours of the race are set. A failed president and someone who's not fit for the job, that's why Trump is.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Scott Jennings, based Scott Jennings, because he puts CNN in their place. Okay, now CNN is his employer, but it seems like every time I see Scott, he doesn't back down, and he makes sure that the Democrats know and that all of the people watching know, like, wait a minute, didn't the Democrats like stage a coup against Joe Biden? Didn't they like literally take his money away to campaign? Didn't they publicly, behind the scenes and publicly, pressure him to drop out of the race, meanwhile trying to call him a hero? So we have a direct response and reaction to his concession speech of the 2024 presidential election. So he's staying as president, which he obviously shouldn't. If he's cognitively and had declined and has health issues, he should not stay as president. He actually should give it to Kamala, and then technically you could still have the first black female president, but she should have to win the presidency fair and square in 2024 with an actual primary, which the Democrats did not hold because they want to try to accomplish their goals any means necessary. Damn the rules, damn democracy, and Scott's not having it. Without further ado, let's get into what he has to say.
I'm still shocked, by the way, at how easy it is to overthrow the president. I mean, I think we all think of this office as being impenetrable. He got 81 million votes in 2020, and then he got 14 million more. But at the end of the day, he was no match for a handful of party bosses who run the Democratic Party. So, look, I'm happy to give him all the grace that he deserves because he's on his way out. But at the end of the day,
yeah, it really sounds like that.
A bunch of people.
That's coming next.
A bunch of people looked into TV cameras over the last days, weeks, and months, and told you a lot of things that were not true about this president. I hope he is okay for the next few months, but it was obvious it was time, not tonight, but a while ago.
Yeah, they were lying, and that's all that they do. And the fact that anyone still has confidence, like if let's say you're an MSNBC watcher, like the people who were like bold-faced lying the most, how the hell can you still have confidence if it's been proven to you that they were lying the entire time? Like, I saw some people who said they were legitimately shocked by Joe Biden's decline. Now, I don't believe that a single person on the news, in the fake news, I don't think any of them were shocked. But some of the actual constituents out here, just regular everyday people who just mindlessly consume the news, I do believe that some of them were actually shocked. Now, if you see that, and then suddenly you just do a switcheroo to Kamala, I just don't understand how people can just kind of turn their brain off and just not feel like betrayed. Like, well, I don't know, it seems like they just lie a lot. So maybe I can't trust what Kamala has to say. She was one of the people who was part of the cover-up. Kamala Harris, Karine Jean-Pierre, Bernie Sanders, hell, even Barack Obama was out here stomping hard for Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all of them, literally all of them, was capping for Sleepy Joe. They all lied to you.
Scott, you're my friend, man, and I love you, and I know you're a good person. You got to take a step back here and show the grace that you said you wanted to show. The president wasn't toppled by party bosses.
Slap yourself.
He was toppled by the reality of his situation. It was the American people who made a judgment it was helped along by your party.
No, guys, this guy got exposed during the debate, and then the donors who, I don't know, how the hell are you like a multi-million-dollar donor and not paying attention to the presidential candidate that you're backing? That's just stupid as hell. But anyways, I think the donors saw what happened. They felt embarrassed, and then they decided no more because, one, you guys lied to us. Two, you humiliated us. They cut the money off. They turned the faucet off. The money stopped funneling in. So yes, this is absolutely a coup. And when that money stopped funneling in, it threatened not only the presidency, the executive branch, but the legislative branch as well. And also, the only way that they could do anything potentially with this whole Roe v. Wade thing, the judicial branch is getting more people on the Supreme Court. So literally the entire government was compromised by the tyrannical left lies.
For 5 years, but they made a judgment, and he recognized the judgment they made, and he decided that the stakes in this fight are such that he could better advance the cause that he believed in by stepping aside. That was a big thing to do and a hard thing to do. And I'm going to give you some political advice, though you're very, very good at this. I would step back and give him that grace tonight.
No. No, because it's way too late for grace. This guy is laughable.
The American people would want
if you think this was Trump, that they would be giving him grace, ain't no way in hell. Trump never gets grace. But for Joe Biden, repeat mistake maker, he deserves all the grace in the world. He's such an awesome, nice guy. He's a hero. He deserves some grace and humility. Hell no. Y'all seen them prices? Do you drive a car? Do you pay for groceries? Do you have an electric bill? Oh, God help you if you pay rent. This guy don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He has changed. He's changed even in the past couple of months. But he was more coherent, low energy, but more coherent than Trump ever is.
No, God!
With high energy. And so I think part of the thing is...
I'm not going to play any of this speech. I saw this speech of Joe Biden. He slurred his words in those speeches too. What's up with... You have to be one of the biggest gaslighters in history to try to claim that Donald Trump is not coherent. We just had a debate. Nobody on the debate, nobody in response to the debate said Donald Trump wasn't coherent in that debate. Everybody said Joe Biden wasn't coherent. Even people who love Joe Biden said that. This guy's delusional as heck. What the hell are these people doing, guys? Seriously, what the hell are they doing? Donald Trump gives speeches constantly. Goes off teleprompter all the time. Trying to compare Joe Biden cognitively, his coherency, to Donald Trump's is laughable. It's beyond laughable. It's beyond belief.
Hard for us on our side of the aisle to try to wrestle with is everything he said made good sense. His voice was soft. He needs to retire, and he is retiring. Donald Trump had a lot of energy today. But almost everything he said made no sense. And so I think it's just that. I think that's...
What did he say?
Fool, slap yourself 3 times.
Try to do it. Try to do it.
That's the thing we wrestle with.
Well, and I think we live...
I mean, maybe to like a radical leftist mind that's like made of soup, maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But he's not saying what doesn't make sense. I explain in almost every freaking video why these leftists are bad. What the hell has Van Jones said? I've heard Van Jones plenty of times, and he doesn't talk about a damn thing. He tries to go full-blown Trump derangement, and he starts talking about coups and starts talking about democracy, all these same talking points. These people don't have nothing else. They don't have any good economic policy, any good social policy. All they got is racism, sexism, January 6th, that's all they talk about. Nothing related to any policy positions.
In this polarized political moment where things are often a Rorschach test, because I'm looking at Twitter seeing how I'm not where most of the Republican Party is. I'll fully admit that, but where most Republicans are, how they're receiving.
Hell, you're tricky. You're not a Republican at all.
How do you see it?
I love you too, David, and I really do, and I respect you, and I hear what you're saying. I think what you're asking Republicans to do is to overlook a lot of dishonesty that came right out of this White House, that came right out of the vice president, people who work for him, his family, other Democrats in Congress. You're asking the country to overlook a lot of dishonesty about Joe Biden's abilities, capabilities, his capacity to serve for another 4 years, and so on.
Are you talking about Biden or Trump?
I'm talking about. I'm talking
literally
about,
Democrats make the same argument.
I'm talking about Joe Biden. He arrived at this. He did arrive at this decision with a little push, not just from the goodness of his own heart, but you have to admit. A little bit of a push from the party
He concluded that this was the party bosses were reflecting, the consensus of the American people who made a judgment. But Scott, I mean,
They lied about it. Are you guys? This guy is a dumb, totally ridiculous.
There's so many Republicans who I talk to who are overlooking far more than this, and they'll tell you that about Donald Trump. I mean, that is really the story of the Republican Party right now.
Okay, let's not reflect on Joe Biden. Let's just go ahead and talk about Republicans, even though we're literally reflecting on Joe Biden's speech and the fact that the American people are lied to by the entire party. Nobody's lying about Donald Trump. Everybody's telling the truth about Trump. These people were proven liars in the Democrat Party. These politicians all lied. The media lied. This douchebag, I'm sure, lied about it too. All these people are liars, and they're basically trying to say, hey, stop paying attention to our lies, okay? We was wrong about the pandemic. We was wrong about the laptop story, the Russia collusion. We were wrong about damn near everything important. We call it conspiracy theories, all of this, cheap fakes. But don't pay attention to any of that. Just believe what we're saying now. We promise we'll never do it again. Hell no.
You talk about deposing a president. That's exactly what he tried to do, overturn a free and fair election. So, and a lot of Republicans know that. They've said it, and yet they're setting that aside. So I don't think you're not on a strong footing here in making this argument.
Well, but my argument is simply that when you're trying to make a judgment between two parties here, I fully and freely admit that both parties have warts. But we're acting like there's no warts on this situation. This is weird. He won the primary without a serious challenge. He told us all he could serve. His party told us he could serve. And he's clearly diminished. And I think he ultimately arrived in the right spot. As you know, on the night of the debate, I said, this candidacy has fallen. He ultimately got here. But it was pretty torturous how they got here. And I think a lot of people burned a lot of credibility on the road to getting here.
Well, and I think it's tough to speak in binaries, but that's where we are at this point in this race. And some of us were there when Donald Trump was being told by advisors consistently, you lost, you need to concede. There's no way that Vice President Pence could change the results of this outcome. And he still refused to, and he still allowed the events of January 6th to unfold. So I think if you're even comparing
these people are just totally insufferable, literally trying to say, this is their argument all the time for anything. Even if they're doing wrong consistently, like Democrats keep getting caught up being wrong and lying all the time. And then they always go back to January 6th. They're like, well, what about January 6th? That's all you got? Like, so this makes it okay to lie consistently because January 6th happened, which they also lied about. They lied about January 6th too, pretending that they're still lying about it. They're acting like this was a legitimate coup. Whereas the Democrats actually pulled a coup on Joe Biden. They pulled a real coup. They took all the money away. They took all the support away. They made it impossible for him to keep running. And then try to say he made a great decision. What decision? If somebody said, look, you either plead guilty. This is like it being in court. You plead guilty for this. We'll give you a slap on the wrist probation. Or you're guaranteed to get convicted death penalty. Choice is yours. You call that a decision if you plead guilty? Get the heck up out of here, bro. These people make no sense. I can't even stomach them anymore. Scott spoke the truth here, and they really just can't handle it. They refuse to even admit that the Democrats have a problem here with their honesty. They're basically trying to say, well, because Trump is so much more dishonest and so much worse, that it doesn't matter what Joe Biden does wrong. It doesn't matter if we lied as the media. It doesn't matter if the politicians lied. None of that stuff matters because Donald Trump is so bad and he lies way more. Nobody says what the lies are. You know, again, like everybody just wants to keep saying he lies, he lies, he lies. What about, like, have those points ready so we could hear them? Don't just say, well, Trump's a liar. Just arbitrarily label him as a liar and not have those points ready to go. These are the same people who try to say that Donald Trump wants to take away Social Security and Medicaid and that he supports Project 2025 or that Project 2025 is his plan or that he's going to get us into wars. None of this stuff is true, or that he didn't lower healthcare or lower the cost of insulin, which he did. These people are the ones who lie about everything, saying that he didn't lower people's taxes, which he did. Not just millionaires and billionaires like Bernie Sanders says. It literally was across the board. Everybody's taxes went down. CNN lies about all of that all the time. The reason why they can't stand to scrutiny in a debate and the reason Joe Biden got cooked wasn't just because he was an old fart, as you're going to see when Kamala Harris debates Teflon Don. It's because the facts don't support their lies. It's really that simple. Anybody can come down to my comments or anywhere and debate me on the points. But the facts do not support what people are saying. They literally have to make stuff up. And Scott knows that, and he's trying to call them out. They're just vehemently denying. They're trying to rewrite history. They tried it with the border czar. Oh, Kamala Harris wasn't the border czar. What are you talking about? These people are shameless, guys. Shameless, and they really should be ashamed of themselves. It's pathetic, and this is why they lost all their credibility. It's going down by the day. More people going to eventually be watching me than these losers. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
This guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game. His mental acuity is great.
This is a very sharp president.
We have a very bold and vibrant president.
That was a lie.